Toodle do, my merry band of bitches. It's your boy, Dr. Goon, and today we are here bringing you a fascinating one that I think, in my opinion, is really fun. In a war we are going to get into two of the most dominant empires from their own fictions, with the Galactic Empire being in Star Wars and the Viltrumite Empire being in the Invincible series. If these two empires were to clash, who do I think would come out on top? We're going to get into this, but before we do that, smash the like button. Let's get this to 200 likes. That would be absolutely amazing if you want to see similar content like this. And join Goon Nation if you have not already. We are on the road to 30K, and we're getting closer by the day. But without further ado, I'm super excited for this. By the way, just did a round of giveaways in my server. Join the Discord if you want to possibly get a giveaway from me. I just gave out 3 really good comics, and I'm going to try to do that weekly, so definitely tap in. But yeah, let's get right into this. Who would win between the Battle of the Empires? So on one side, we have the Viltrumite Empire. Now, this is an empire composed of superpowered soldiers hailing from the Viltrum Empire. Now, the Viltrumites are beings who can do things such as fly. They are some of the strongest, at least, are able to come together, destroy planets. They are threats to the entire galaxy. In fact, at one point, they took about 60 to 70% of the entire known galaxy. But that is when they saw their empire start to spread a little thin. On top of this, people engaged them in different forms of warfare, whether their own population having a civil war, to them getting basically poisoned on a mass scale. They've suffered a lot of loss. We are going to take them at their peak, so about 3 billion to 6 billion Viltrumite soldiers, and they are a military-based empire. What that means is their biggest ways of proposing status and having status among their own people is through military excellence. Because of that, they're highly capable. Obviously, they're a very evolved species, with really their only weaknesses being to biological weapons. Eventually, they can run out of oxygen. However, they've been known to hold their breath for 1 to 2 weeks at a time, with FTL to FTL feats to continental to planetary to even star ranges. If you take crossovers, they get stronger, but that's a little iffy. Regardless, the Empire at its peak power was the absolute horrifying powerhouse in their own respective universe. Beings that can pretty much beat any other race and straight up hand to hand. Highly powerful with some biological weaknesses, but nevertheless very hard to overcome. Now, if this empire, which is hell-bent on domination, were to cross over into the Star Wars universe during the Galactic Empire era, what do I think would happen? Well, first, let's get the Galactic Empire out of the way. The most notable powerhouses, obviously coming from here, are Darth Vader and Emperor Sidious, both of them Dark Lords of the Sith, which gives them access to the terrifying powers of the Force. The Force being a metaphysical concept within the verse that kind of envelops everything throughout the many universes of Star Wars. And it's both living, connective, and everything in between, and allows you to do wild things such as magic rituals, telekinesis, energy production, telekinetic attacks, organ destruction. There's a whole bunch of powers that can be accessed through the Force, and Darth Vader and Sidious know hundreds to thousands of techniques thanks to their constant vigilance and training and the likes of the Force. Now, they kind of spearhead the Empire, similar to how the Viltrumites have monsters that lead their empire, like Thrag. They have Conquest, who of course goes out, and several other Viltrumites. Omni-Man, when he was under the banner. They have their heavy hitters, just like Star Wars does. And Sidious actually did have some select Inquisitors that operated under him. We are taking Legends, by the way, just in case people get confused if I'm strictly referring to movies. But there are several Inquisitors who, of course, they do not inherently scale to the likes of Vader. They're not as strong as him in verse. However, these beings are quite capable and do have access to the Force, as well as, of course, the most infamous weapon in Star Wars, the lightsaber, which is a bright burning sword, essentially, plasma mixed with the force that's imbued into a kyber crystal that creates incredible heat properties and can cut through many different materials as well as beings. These are wielded by the Sith Lords and their Inquisitors. As for regular soldiers, they have the Stormtroopers, infamous for having shitty aim, although some of them are considered good to elite. These beings number in the millions. There are hundreds of thousands of ships, including 25,000 star destroyers, which can level cities to even threaten planet surfaces. And the Empire also houses planet-destroying weapons that can destroy planets on a whim, if teleported there. On top of the many creatures that extend throughout the Star Wars galaxy that can threaten cities to populations of a planet, depending on which creature is used. Overall, the Galactic Empire spans heavily throughout the Star Wars universe, had a hell of a run under Lord Sidious, and is highly capable when tapping into all their military assets. Now that we got both empires out of the way with brief explanations, how do I see this going down if these two were to collide? Let's get the obvious out the way. The average soldier under Viltrumite Empire, which is Viltrumites, far outclass Stormtroopers. However, let's be honest about this part. There is several planets full of these soldiers for Star Wars. They have weapons that can range from anything from lasers to high concentrated destructive blasters to regular vehicles to even star destroyers with as many as 25,000, with only a couple needed to really level a planet. With this kind of weaponry, this engagement becomes very interesting in my opinion. Though Viltrumites could lay waste to platoons of stormtroopers, once the stormtroopers, their admirals, and so on and so forth start implementing high-tier weapons, it's going to get pretty sticky for the Viltrumites, as well as they don't have as many cannon fodder to give away as the Star Wars galaxy does. They have stormtroopers everywhere. They literally have cloning facilities, and they can constantly produce these soldiers. On top of this, many people are loyal to the Empire out of pure fear, essentially. And the Viltrumites would have to overcome this loyalty as they're taking over, which would be a little iffy because it's not like good guys rescuing them and bringing them into salvation. These are conquerors. And something that sets apart Sidious from a lot of rulers is that Sidious don't give a fuck, right? If he sees you pulling up, if he sees you pressing his empire, he's letting you have it. It was hard enough for a few people to avoid his gaze throughout the galaxy, to even the universe, let alone an entire Viltrum empire. Once Sidious is aware of this threat, he's sending the big guns. He's going to send the Death Star. He is going to send all the Star Destroyers. He probably is going to send Vader. He's going to send Admiral Thrawn, who Grand Admiral Thrawn, in terms of intelligence, vastly is superior to anyone on the Viltrumite side. They have to get one Viltrumite body, essentially. Once they get that, bring it into their labs, study its biology, study how it works, we could see something as horrifying as Sidious creating Viltrumite clones and using those. But not only that, his scientists would be able to tell the biological weaknesses of this species, thus allowing Sidious to pump out weapons and use attacks that specifically target these weaknesses. For example, biological warfare. Star Wars is much more advanced than that, than the Invincible universe, which was effective against the Viltrumites. My ultimate take on this is Sidious has several win cons against the Viltrum Empire. Whether he goes through biological warfare, just the heaviest guns possible he could muster, a relentless barrage and assault, he himself showing up, even taking out their leader if he wanted to. They don't really have a defense against that, especially because this is someone who can use abilities like Force Cloak to basically make himself invisible to everyone, even those with super senses or heightened awareness through even the Force. He's going to get the drop. Vader could as well. In a 1v1, Sidious is comfortable versus any Viltrumite, even their leader. I think he dog walks Thrag with the Force. Overall, given how aggressive Sidious is, given the sheer numbers he has access to, given the power of his weapons, and given that eventually he will figure out more about the Viltrum Empire, I just think it's highly more likely the Galactic Empire gets the job done before the Viltrum Empire gets the job done, which essentially for them to win, they would probably just try to destroy everything they could and outmuscle the Galactic Empire, which is not the smart way to combat a beast like Darth Sidious. In the end, I give this war to the Galactic Empire. But anyways, guys, let me know what you think in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed this what if in battle, definitely let me know what you think. Also, get in the comment section and let me know how you think this goes. If you think I missed anything, if you want to see a part 2, if you want to see the Jedi face them, if you want to see me take them to different eras of the Star Wars universe to put against the Viltrumites, definitely let me know. I also used the Empire at their peak power, the Viltrum Empire, just because I thought that was more interesting than just 50 of them, because 50 of them, Sidious probably throws the bag at Mandalorians and gets the job done, all right? 50 is probably not enough, so I wanted to give them the entire Empire. But yeah, thank you guys so much for tuning in. It's been your boy, Dr. Goon. Shout out to Goon Nation, and I will see y'all later. Peace.